Hello, my name is John the Green. This is my week 2 assignment for Advanced Visual Frameworks. In this assignment, we had to expand on what we learned in the first week, as well as fixing issues we had concerning the first week. What we learned this week we had to apply was cloud in cloud-enabled applications. Basically, just a proof of concept, not really something that was necessary for this app, but just to show that we understood how it works and that we can actually implement it, was to actually use Titanium's cloud and load data onto that cloud, whether it was tables in their database that already existed to create our own custom objects, which I did in this app. Also, the fixing the issues, whether it was database issues or these issues in general, UI issues or anything like that that we came across on the previous week. So I'll jump right into my code. My app.js file, I have all my views and all my windows created right here and everything being loaded into those views and into the window, as well as some of my required methods being stated here. As you can see, I do have an actual UI.js file, but the reason why my actual user interface is not in that, I'll explain. I'll explain right now actually. In my UI.js file, I actually have a custom UI element being made here. As you can see in my app.js file, if I can find it, well, you normally when we create views, we have ti.ui.create view. But with this custom method, no custom module, I created my own custom view. Let's see if I can find it. It's an actual view that allows me to use my image without it losing its aspect ratio, but still stretching to the here we go to the size of the container. So right here I have main view equals UI.create view, and the actual syntax is exactly the same as you would do a normal ti.ui.create view, except minus the ti.ui because this is my own custom module without the ti.ui frameworks. But what it does basically is it gives me a background size cover property, which basically what that does, it takes this image and it stretches the image to the size of the container while respecting the aspect ratio, so you don't get any distorted, stretched out images no matter what image you have there. Now, the pixel density will be up to you and the quality of the image you have, but the aspect ratio will remain the same. Well, not the same, but will also be respected throughout the expansion of the image, whether you increase the size or not. So next will be my geo.js file, was just basically grabbing my longitude and my latitude from my location, calling the geo function down here, as well as passing in my longitude into my API JS file and API function in that API JS file, which is right here. Here you can see me calling my database required methods. I have access to my database, which you will see why when I go through the code. But here, as you can see, I'm accepting two parameters, my lat, my long, which I accepted from my geo right here, and I'm concatenating that into my URL so that it knows what longitude and latitude to use to get my information. I'm also checking to see if geolocation in my network, well, not geolocation, but location services is enabled and my TI network is online. And if it is, it goes through the normal client onload, which basically parses through the data and adds the data to my UI elements, as well as creates a table and adds information to my data table, which is why I had this database require method up here. And then my client error, what it does is basically tells the user that there's an error with the connection. That if it was ran before while there was a connection available, it reads data from my database and fills the UI elements with that previous data. Now, what you can see down here is I have a read function down here being called as well. These are two different read functions. This first one is just a simple read function reading from my database to populate the UI elements. This database.read cloud function is basically a separate read function that will populate my cloud database from my local SQL database. So both reading from the same database, but two different read functions. So next, I guess I'll go to my database. Right here in my database, I have my cloud requirement method up here, so I have access to that. And I have my database being created with all the correct tables, with the correct table and the correct columns in those tables being created, and accepting the right number of values, and giving them the right names and everything, and insert and having the correct syntax for my insert method and everything. and I'm exporting that. And down here's my first read function. That's basically reading things from the data table, and then populating my UI elements down here. And next I have my read cloud function, which is doing the exact same thing except just pushing it into the cloud. This can actually be removed right here. That's not needed. But this is doing the exact same thing, and it's just instead of pushing into my UI elements, it's pushing all the data to my cloud. And here you can see my cloud.js file, which is what we went over this week. I'm logging in with that admin user that we were told that we need to have, and I'm also creating a custom object right here, custom cloud object, creating my class name as well as the fields to populate, which is my data city, my data temp, and my condition database, and then alerting for success. And everything else you would need for that custom object to work and for me to log into my actual cloud. I'll actually run that for you guys right now. So as you can see, I have my my app, Simply Weather. Click it. Since this is net connection, it tells me it says the connection is on. It says success, and it says the ID. And it says the city is undefined because as of right now, there's no local database for it to pull from because there's no local database created. So right now it gives you my ID for my cloud, but no value for my city, temperature, condition, and when it was created. But that's okay. It will be available once I rerun it again. So I click OK. Location found. It gives me all my information, and now it tells me alert success. My ID for my cloud, and then now see that my city is Charleston, my temperature is 70, my condition is chance of rain, and when it's created. So now once it was able to connect to the internet and I get my geolocation, now it grabs all the information and pushes it to my custom object on my cloud. I click OK, and that's one more time. There you go. And then it gives me my information, the Charleston, my weather for the viewer to see now. My app. So here's my app, Charleston, 70 degrees, chance of rain. If I X out of this, go here, turn off my Wi-Fi, go back to it, run it again. It says alert, unable to parse JSON data. It's unable to parse the JSON data because there's no JSON data available because the network is down. Unable to retrieve data, network error, but my information is being pulled from my local database, so I still have my Charleston for my city, my 70 degrees, for my degrees and chance of rain, for my conditions. Once again, this is Jonathan Green for Advanced Visual Frameworks and my week 2 assignment. I hope to see you guys in the next GoTo meeting. Bye.